Transmitted infections are on the rise in Maine, and the numbers may shock you.
Plus, a new proposal from the Working Waterfront Group to possibly ban any new retail or restaurants from Portland's piers.
I'm in the boss's office. He's not here right now. The question is, should I let him follow me on Facebook? I'm thinking no, slippery slope, right? How would you handle it? We're going to talk about it tonight. This is News Center Now. Yes, indeed, there is a proposed plan to ban any new restaurant or retail store along the piers in Maine's largest city. Good evening, everybody. I'm Lee Nelson.
And I'm Lindsay Mills. The plan is part of proposed zoning amendments for Portland's working waterfront. Some say it's a way to address the concerns of fishermen who feel that new development is pushing them aside. Others say there's no need to change the zoning that's worked for fishermen and wharf owners for nearly a decade.
What's wrong with what's working?
Ken McGowan owns the Porthole Restaurant, which has been on Custom House Wharf since the 1920s.
We think we've done everything to make it easier for the fishermen. They want more.
He also owns the wharf. It's been in his family since the 1800s.
We've got a lobster wholesaler down there. We've got a bait company down there.
McGowan is among the Portland wharf owners who are questioning new proposed zoning amendments for the working waterfront zone. Zoning that was implemented back in 2010.
What we did 10 years ago, 9 years ago, is working. Let's stay the course.
The plan looks to ban any new retail shop or restaurant from opening on the piers.
Nobody's going to be kicked out.
Bill Needleman, the city's waterfront coordinator, says the plan is a city staff recommendation that reflects conversations had over the last several months with the waterfront working group, made up of fishermen, wharf owners, and business owners.
We're really trying to recalibrate that balance, trying to find the place where both the fishing community and the development community can exist on this waterfront.
The amendments would get rid of contract and conditional zoning, triple the amount of time vacant pier buildings are on the market for marine tenants, and alter the overlay zone to ensure any development is closer to Commercial Street. Needleman says he understands wharf owners need to generate revenue. Are there other ways of getting that revenue?
Upper floor office, first floor office, non-marine light industrial uses. There are non-marine opportunities that will continue to exist in the waterfront central zone.
I still think a hotel would be perfect down on the waterfront.
McGowan says he believes the idea of more business happening at night with restaurants and hotels could ease the congestion and parking concerns of fishermen on Commercial Street. The city, meanwhile, is working on a traffic plan, and recommendations for that are expected soon.
It's hard for deliveries, but you know what? The delivery companies don't care. My beer distributor can't stand coming down here some days, but we sell a lot of beer. They're happy.
The proposal will go before a public hearing with the planning board that's scheduled for early June. The planning board will then come up with its recommendation to present to the Portland City Council.
Yeah, for those of us who've lived in Portland for a long time, this has been an issue forever, and even beyond the time that I lived here too. It's just been an issue. So back and forth, back and forth.
And it keeps going.
Yeah, it absolutely does. I saw your hair blowing around in the wind out there, so
gusty out there.
Must have been a little windy out there. Let's talk to Keith. Is it still windy, Keith? Is it still kind of chilly, or what's the scoop out there?
It's actually nice out now. We got a window only in this floor. Yeah, I'm in a basement right now doing the renovation for this new.
Where you belong.
Yeah.
Thinking that.
Even when they finish the renovation, they're not going to tell me. I'm just going to be stuck down there. You can see the clouds clearing out pretty quickly, so we're getting a nice late afternoon into early evening. It's actually pretty much totally clear at this point, a far cry from how we started the day or how most of the day was. The exception to that, by the way, Aroostook County was sunny pretty much all day, just away from the fray of the rain and snow. Now we have nothing left on the radar, and we'd have to zoom out pretty far to find our next storm system. Current temperatures are popping up a bit here into the low 50s at 55 in Bangor, 51 in Houlton, 53 in Portland. But this is a late surge. A lot of the day was spent in the low and mid 40s, and it was kind of a raw day for most of us. So tonight is clear. Unfortunately, we're wasting all our clear hours overnight tonight because tomorrow we start with a little sun, and then here comes the cloud cover during tomorrow midday, tomorrow afternoon. So the first half of the day looks much better than the second half. We should hold off, though, any rain showers until around sunset, and then after that it's rain and snow showers overnight Wednesday and into Thursday morning. Guys, it could be cold enough to crash a little snow down to down East Maine on Thursday morning. It won't be impactful other than like mentally impactful for people.
All right.
At this point, that's the worst part of it anyway. All right, Keith, thanks.
All right, some headlines now. We have a verdict in the Shauna Gatto trial. This afternoon, she was found guilty of depraved indifference murder for killing 4-year-old Kendall Chick more than a year ago. Gatto is from Wiscasset. She's due to be sentenced on June 25th. Clay Gordon has been covering the trial, and he'll have much more on this story in the next 90 minutes.
The Maine Senate has passed a bill to stop the state's public schools from using Native American mascots and imagery. This goes for public universities and community colleges as well. Republican opponents had argued the issue should be decided on the local level, not the state level, but that argument wasn't enough to kill the bill. The Maine House, by the way, passed this last week, but it does still face a final round of votes before going to the governor. The last Maine high school to use such a mascot, Skowhegan Area High School, voted to stop calling themselves the Indians last month.
Did you know that sexually transmitted infections are on the rise in Maine?
Yeah, according to the Maine Centers for Disease Control, there's apparently a huge spike in cases of both gonorrhea and syphilis in Maine, and they're urging everybody to get tested. This actually is the final day of Sexually Transmitted Disease Awareness Month. May 1st is tomorrow. And the state CDC says it's recommending various methods of prevention and screening and treatment. The agency says Maine has seen a dramatic increase in gonorrhea and syphilis in the last 5 years. Gonorrhea
cases increased nearly 200% from 2014 to 2018. Syphilis cases gone up by almost 600% to 104 confirmed cases in that same time frame. Last year, a spokesperson for the Department of Health and Human Services said they hadn't identified the reason for those spikes. It certainly seems like Alzheimer's, but it's not.
Yeah, there's a newly identified disease that is kind of just like Alzheimer's. Health professionals say too often the word dementia is used interchangeably with Alzheimer's when there are several different brain disorders that harm memory and thinking skills. And scientists now say a buildup of one abnormal protein named TDP43 sometimes causes dementia, especially in very old people. Researchers defined this new disorder in the journal Brain as one of a list of dementia causes that includes strokes and the buildup of clumps of other protein.
For now, TDP43 can be spotted only by autopsy, so the next step is a better test. Researchers say that will be critical to getting a better look at telling the different types of dementia apart if they're ever to uncover good treatments. Interesting. Coming up on News Center Now, our Verify team is finding out if Amazon drivers are really being required to take selfies when they make their deliveries.
Also coming up, where do you draw the line when it comes to social media friendships with people in the workplace? Let us know, and we'll see what others around the country think about this as well.
All right. How's it going? Oh, Puckland. Weren't you at the premiere for that?
Sure was.
I haven't seen that yet. Have you guys checked out Puckland? I think it's out. It's on our website.
It is. It's interesting. It's behind the scenes of the creation of the newest Maine pro hockey team.
Yeah.
Shot by somebody who lives in Maine but who has worked on major programs, and of course I'm not going to be able to come up with them now. But he produced.
I know.
Big reality shows that we all have seen.
Yes. That's cool.
How's that for being not specific?
That's good. There's a show that I love to watch called 24/7, and it always goes behind the scenes with whatever two teams are competing in the Winter Classic.
Oh, okay.
And you really get to know the team. Whether you're a fan of that team or not, you really get to know the athletes. It's cool. It is a great show. It's awesome.
And they've got those for football as well. Those are, so I'm more tapped into football. I'd
Right.
be more likely to watch those. But
We're equal opportunity sports fans.
oh yeah, absolutely.
Jesse's weighing in on the waterfront discussion, saying no more hotels on our waterfront. Jesse, I am curious to know why you say that.
Let me add too, because I'm about to do something on the hotels. What's the waterfront? So the piers. Your story was talking specifically about the piers, which
the
extend
central zone.
into the water, into the harbor.
Yes.
Because there are already more hotels being constructed and soon to be constructed, which technically you could say are on the waterfront.
Sure.
They're coming.
But they're on the other side of Commercial
But
Street.
they're on the other side of Commercial Street,
Yeah.
right? But yeah, we're talking about the piers, right? Specifically.
Right.
It's funny. Well, like I said, after watching it, it's been an argument for so long,
I know.
and I can understand both sides of the argument too.
Right. It's interesting for sure.
Use of semicolons would be nice. With regard to what?
Claire says, my boss asked me to be a friend on Facebook and I declined. Work life and home life need to be separate. Very interesting.
So the follow-up question is, what did your boss say about that?
Yeah, exactly.
Was your boss like, what's up with that?
Right.
Oh yeah, Taco Tuesday.
Stand by.
All right, so there's been a lot of talk online this week that Amazon has begun making their drivers take selfies during their deliveries.
So we have to know, is this legit? Our Verify team went straight to the source to find out.
Our Verify team here, we work to cut through the social media clutter and give you just the facts. So a member of the WUSA9 team asked us to check out these articles circulating that Amazon is now making drivers take selfies during their deliveries. So is this actually legit? Well, to find out, our researchers went straight to the source, Amazon itself. And a spokesperson told us, yes, this is a recently implemented practice they've started for Amazon Flex drivers. Now, Amazon Flex is a program where the company hires drivers to deliver Amazon Prime packages, and those drivers set their own schedules. Now, when drivers sign into their delivery block, at times they'll be asked to take a photo to validate their identity. So yeah, a selfie of sorts. Some online speculation suggests that Amazon is making drivers take the photos to cut down on package fraud and theft. Well, the spokesperson told us that's not true. Instead, the picture is meant to be an extra layer of security against fraudulent activity on the driver's account. So we can verify. Yes, Amazon implemented a method for some of their drivers to verify their identity by taking a photo when making a delivery.
So that still doesn't mean your package will be on the stoop when you get home, though, right? So you still need to take precautions to protect that delivery.
You do. If you get a lot of packages, you might want to get a security camera at your door. You could also add one of those smart doorbells, which would allow you to talk with the delivery person and actually unlock your door, let them bring the delivery inside. There's certain ways to protect yourself. So.
Endless opportunities to keep those safe. Some big changes coming to Facebook soon. We're going to take a peek.
And don't be afraid to look at Keith's whiteboard. Hopefully no big spoilers today.
Oh.
We already knew that. That's not a spoiler.
Clay and I made we made like an actual dinner last night. We haven't made in a while. We're sitting down and we're like, the first thing we talk about is, Clay's like, I can't believe Keith did that.
This is no fun. Zero fun. Okay, there was one person that I did apologize to because...
Was it the night shift worker?
Yes, it was someone who came home to watch it.
Yeah.
And it was too bright out.
Because that episode, if you've seen it, is very dark.
It's so dark.
Low contrast.
It's hard to see.
So they couldn't really see what was happening because it was still daytime. So they turned it, they paused it, put on our show, and I apparently ran right into my board at that time. In which case I said,
I mean, that's just like
apologize.
Unfortunate timing.
It's true.
It's unfortunate timing. We did want to go back and watch. Do you guys ever watch like the extras?
Yes. I've been watching those.
Yeah.
After the episode things?
Yeah. I haven't.
Oh, absolutely. That enough? Yep. Yeah. I don't usually like to watch that stuff, but everybody else in my family loves to, so I watched it too.
It's a good, I feel like it's a good explainer. Rob Nesbitt was helping me fill in some of the questions I had about Game of Thrones, and he's like, well, I got these answers from watching the extras after the episode.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah. You know, we're going to be out of town this coming Sunday. I don't know what we're going to do. We're just going to have to find a way to watch it while we're out of town.
You're really into this show, huh?
Do you have the HBO Go app?
Well, I don't want to tune into the 5 and have some weatherman.
I won't do it to you again. No, I didn't do it to you. You're
Jesse's responding when we asked her about why she says no more hotels.
Yeah.
She says, I say that because we have so many hotels already. I'm concerned that hotels and tourists will take over our waterfront and our livelihood of our fishermen, lobstermen. We have plenty of places to stay and lots of Airbnbs.
Although they made that illegal.
Right.
A lot of people.
Right. They have clamped down hard on Airbnbs, really hard. Yeah. Well, there are currently 5 hotels either just under construction or about to be under construction on the peninsula in Portland.
That's unbelievable.
And I don't want to give away the piece that I'm going to air
When can we see
in a
this?
couple of weeks. I've got a 5-part series running, not next week, but the week after.
5 parts.
But it's not all on hotels, but one piece is on the hotels but all the hoteliers believe we need more rooms.
I agree.
And these are upscale, expensive rooms. Facebook CEO Mark Zuckerberg will kick off Facebook's annual F8 conference with what are expected to be more details about the new privacy-focused vision for his social network.
The social media giant posting today about a new design. The company calls it simpler, faster, more immersive, and it makes it easier to find what you're looking for and to get your most used features. People will start seeing some of these updates in the Facebook app right away, and the new desktop site will come in the next few months. I already noticed today the emojis look different, like the reactions. Oh, really? If you go to do a sad face or a heart, they look a little different. I don't know if that's new today, but new to me today. You're certainly friendly with your coworkers, but are you actually friends with them? We're talking Facebook friends.
Yeah, this can kind of be a slippery slope, especially if you're following your boss or your boss is following you. Mixing social media into the workplace can be fun, but it can also be problematic. Here is Rena Saraginiopoulos to help us understand what is acceptable.
The question on Facebook, are you friends with your boss and coworkers on social media? The answers were almost universally no, but my unscientific results may not be reflective of what's really happening.
I don't know that there's that stigma that there used to be with the blending and blurring of the lines.
Ann Pryor is an online brand strategist. She says the rules have changed and there's no simple answer to the question. It depends on, well, lots of things, including which social platform you're talking about.
On Facebook, I keep in touch with family and friends. So that site is a little bit more close to my heart. So I don't just connect with anybody I don't know. LinkedIn, for instance, is all business. So I connect with a lot of business colleagues. And there I do want to connect with my boss and my partners.
A lot of you agreed with that logic when we connected on Facebook.
Other platforms like Instagram, Facebook, Snapchat. Typically, I'm not connected with people who are either my boss or a direct report, just because it's a little bit more private.
Maybe you find Instagram a little less personal. Maybe Snapchat is your jam. Maybe it doesn't matter to you. You just don't want your boss seeing any of it. You absolutely have that prerogative. But being friends with your boss isn't all bad. You can change your privacy settings so he or she doesn't see everything you post. And if you are the boss, wait for the invite.
I feel strongly that it is inappropriate for the supervisor to initiate friend requests to their coworkers, as there is a lot of personal politics involved that puts them into an uncomfortable position.
And I think bosses should actually come out and tell the employees that in some of the employee group meetings, what they feel about social media and how they think about their own sites.
This is my boss. I friended him on Facebook. I think he's neato. In fact, I think most of my coworkers are neato too. I follow them on Instagram, I track them on Twitter. I enjoy seeing pictures of their kids, their dogs, even what they had for dinner last night. Now, maybe it has something to do with the business we're in, because this thinking doesn't necessarily apply to other jobs.
I only accept friend requests from coworkers that I will hang out with outside of work. Otherwise, I say no.
And our expert says it's not only okay to be choosy, it's probably best to be choosy.
Invite people you know, you like, you trust. That trust is a big situation for me. If I do not trust them, if they're a taker and a user, I don't want them in my network.
Someone you don't know well may have no problem taking your post complaining about work to the bosses. And while we're on the topic, no matter who you're connected to, some things just don't need to be shared.
Be careful what you put online because it stays online. You know, Rena, 46% of recruiters and HR people have found digital dirt, and they've dismissed people because of it for good jobs.
After all, you never know who your next boss will be.
So it's kind of interesting. All three of us have both a professional Facebook page and a personal Facebook page. So I think it's a little bit easier because you can separate the things. It's funny, on my personal page, I only basically have old friends from like high school and stuff, you know, who I don't see around here. And so I'm sorry if you've tried to friend me on my personal one. I don't accept anyone I don't know. But on my professional one,
actually,
anyway.
I tried to friend you and you just
well, and then there are certain other exceptions.
Yeah. I just think, I mean, these are all good rules of thumb. Like, just not being a dink on your Facebook page is probably a better way to do it too. Like, I think what they were pointing out, complaining about work, I would never think to do that. Maybe because I'm a blunt person, I would just do it to the manager.
Absolutely.
Absolutely,
Right.
straight to the source.
Right.
But it's common.
Sure
Very
is.
common.
Sure is.
Absolutely. That's why I like Instagram, just the pictures.
Me too.
Yeah.
Favorite by a mile.
Just the pictures.
I know. I've been getting into Instagram, although it's funny that people are like snobby. Like hipsters are really snobby about Instagram. Like, I wouldn't even think about Facebook. You're like, you know, Facebook owns them, right? just so we're clear on what's what here, right? All right, clearing out. What a great afternoon. It really turned the corner quickly. Great afternoon into early evening. And the precipitation ended as well. We didn't see that much rain today, a couple snowflakes in the mountains, but it was a dreary day through the first half of it at least, and it was kind of raw, especially along the coastline. But we've broken out of that. Temperatures making a late surge into the mid-50s. And 53 in Millinocket. The sunniest parts of Maine were Aroostook County, actually, today, at least as far as start to finish sunshine. They did the best. Temperatures didn't respond all that well, unfortunately. Hour by hour forecast, clear tonight. We start tomorrow morning, and I think it's a nice start to the day, but clouds are lurking into New Hampshire and Vermont, and they move in pretty quickly here during the middle of the day. So here we are at 2 o'clock. Most of us are cloudy, the exception of out towards Lubec here and Eastport, Machias, but most of us are cloudy by 2 in the afternoon. And then a couple of sprinkles start moving in late afternoon into early evening. The bulk of the precipitation comes through in the middle of the night, tomorrow night. And there'll be some snow again into the mountains. Not going to be a huge deal, but that might crash down into down East Maine on Thursday morning. A couple of wet flakes along the coast can't be ruled out on Thursday morning. So a rough start on Thursday and continuing through the middle of the day, then clearing out a bit on Thursday afternoon. And we do it again on Friday with clouds increasing and then showers on Friday midday into Friday afternoon. So the pattern just keeps throwing us pieces of energy every 12 hours or so. So the jet stream's stuck where it is. Interesting to watch what happens over the weekend because, man, we are so tight on this forecast. I was looking at some of the tweets from Boston meteorologists, and they're having the same dilemma where these systems are so close to us. Look at Saturday and then Sunday. Look how close this rain is. Come on. It's right down south of us. So right now the weekend is dry, but in a confidence interval standpoint, I'm like 65% on it. I'm just not totally sold that we stay dry through the weekend, which would be a fitting beginning to May because look at this April calendar. Ryan keeps updating this because it rains every day. We're up to 17. Sadly, we will not break the record of most rainy days in April, but we're in the upper echelon of them for sure. So again, the weekend is like probably good. Oh wait, hold on, I'm sorry, this is the wrong one. This is Todd's from this morning, stand by. This is my first day doing this job, so marine forecast, good, you didn't need to see that. There we go.
There we go.
There we go. So the weekend, we played it with clouds right now again. It's really, really close. I hope we can get it though, because that'll make a big difference.
It would be nice. It would be nice.
Nice little change.
All right, that kind of looked like the home and away schedule for a sports team, you know, with a green.
Yes. Yeah.
Boston
It had that
Celtics
look
or
to it.
something.
It looks like the Red Sox schedule. We do stuff now for Nesson, and I'm like, oh, is there a Red Sox game today? Yes. Every day. The answer is yes.
Oh, yes, absolutely, or most days. And speaking of the Red Sox, perfect segue,
I didn't even know
Keith.
it.
Thank you so much for
Not a
that.
dink after all. Dual income.
You've got 2 more days to get in on our Red Sox auction package. It's live on eBay right now, and not only do you get a baseball experience, you get to help your neighbors too.
It's the Feed Maine Fenway Game Day package. It's compliments of our new partners Nesson and will benefit the Good Shepherd Food Bank. It includes 2 tickets to a Red Sox game, a meet and greet with the Nesson broadcasters before the game, a tour behind that green monster, and so much more. The auction ends Thursday afternoon, and right now the highest bid is around $615. You can learn more at our website and mobile app.
It's worth way more than $615, so that should go up for sure. Hey, how would you like a TV that acts more like your phone? Samsung has one that's about to hit the market in South Korea. It's called the Siro. It's a 43-inch screen, and it can pivot between horizontal and vertical configurations. Samsung says the Siro was designed with millennials in mind, of course, so they can enlarge their smartphone content on a vertical screen if they want. The Siro can also serve as a photo frame, a music streaming hub. Samsung's voice assistant Bixby is also on board. It goes on sale in South Korea at the end of next month. It'll cost $1,600. Samsung hasn't said if it's coming to the US, but if it is successful in Asia, you can bet it'll probably make its way to the US as well.
Very interesting. I've been trying, as you were telling that story, I was trying to think, how would I use this? And I still don't know how I would use it.
And I guess, would you have to go up and physically turn it? You probably would have to.
I don't know.
I'll get Cindy to do that.
Yeah, speaking of.
That's what I'm here for.
How's it going? A lot more coming up on News Center Maine at 5:30.
We've got some really great news. Those 2 kids who were taken from Presque Isle have been found. They are not in the state of Maine. We'll tell you where they were found and who police are now charging with taking them against their will. We have all been given pause when we see those roadside memorials erected right on the spot where somebody was killed in a crash. Well, now there's an effort in Augusta to make those so that they can't be dismantled, to protect them by law. We've got more on that. Plus, could you work with your spouse? We all do.
All of us do.
All of us
Right.
do. Lindsay,
All
of course, is married to Clay Gordon, so we all work together, and we're going to talk about the pros and cons, and we've got a pulse poll going right now as to whether you could do it.
Yes, weigh in, pulse.newscentermaine.com.
This might be the first and only time I don't ask you guys to send us your questions.
Yeah, please.
But vote in the pulse poll.
You get really personal really quick.
News Center Now is back with Brain Drops after this. I love it.
This
So funny.
tablet is super low on battery power.
Oh,
but
is it? Okay.
But it doesn't matter, I guess, because
Did
I'm
it
out of
make it
here
through?
anyway.
Perfect.
It just flashed low batteries.
Sweet. Awesome.
All right, you're up, Keith. All right, let's do it.
No, it's so funny. Okay, you know that DINK means dual income, no kids?
Well, that's not how I was using it.
I know, no. DINK. DINK, DINK, DINK.
Yep. We were briefly that. Didn't work out too hard. Actually, we were dual income, no kids for like 9 years, which is pretty good.
That's fair.
Yeah.
That's fair.
Just refreshing these brain drops real quick.
That's fine. John says it was snowing in Waterville today this morning.
Leave that.
But now the sun's out in Portland. It's crazy. I was a silly dink, not the dual income type, and left the house today without a raincoat. Then I made another crucial mistake. I went home to change into a raincoat when I could because I knew I had more interviews outside today, and I left the car keys in my original coat pocket. So now my car keys are at home. The car is here.
Good.
Luckily it's walking distance, so I should be fine.
Yeah,
but
my new car has this really annoying feature, and I know why it's there.
Yeah.
But if you leave the key in the car, even for a second, like say you go into the back,
Yeah.
and you leave the key fob, it like the alarm goes off. It's like beep 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 beep. I'm like I know.
Like let you know.
Yeah. I'm like, you know what's a better solution is don't let, like my old car just didn't let you lock the car if the key was in.
Oh, that's smart.
That's all I need. I don't need it to like yell at me every time I do it.
Our car will lock.
Advanced now, can't your car just send you a text message? Hey,
Yeah,
you're still in
yeah.
the car.
We had Lucy and Tito in the car. We left them in there while we did something. The car was running. Tito likes to put the car in like 4-wheel drive and mountain mode and all those things with his little paw. And he hit the lock button. So they were locked inside. The fob was inside. We left the fob inside so it wasn't ding, 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 dinging.
Yeah.
Called AAA. They were fantastic out of Saco. We told them we had animals in the car. They put us at the top of the priority list. They came right out.
Charlie likes to put both feet on the horn and just
Oh,
stay there.
Tito,
Stay right.
Tito would do that if he could.
Stand by.
All right, so we're always mixing up the intensity of these brain drops. This one's a little bit more serious, but it is interesting. Let's bring this full screen if we can for a second. UN issuing an urgent warning on essentially viruses or bacteria that is resistant now to antibiotics. Because I'm sure you've heard about this, but their whole point is that this is becoming a bigger and bigger problem, that these drugs aren't working. And
is that because we don't take them all the way through their course?
So in developed nations, yes. The other problem is they're overprescribed, and that's been a known issue for a long time. So sometimes it's a viral infection, they give you antibiotics. But actually, it's mainly at third world countries. Some of the people buy antibiotics off the street, literally, because they can't get to a doctor.
Oh,
so
sad.
interesting, but it's a big deal. They predict it'll kill millions of people in just about 20 years.
Oh, something heavy to think about.
Yeah.
Keith, thanks so much. News Center Maine at 5:30 starts right now.
Coming up next on News Center Maine.
It's not a virus because virus doesn't antibiotics. Don't matter.
That was fine.
But at the same time, I'm like, oh,
Bye,
he probably doesn't
Facebook.
want me talking to him while he's on the air.
I can